The slave trade with the New World was started not long after the discovery of America. For more than 3 centuries, slave ships continued with their sinister voyages, loaded with their dreadful human cargo. Millions of people were captured in Africa and sold in America. By the end of the 18th century in Haiti alone, there was a population of more than 2,900,000 African slaves. That night, on the 14th of August, 1791, a black pig was sacrificed and all those present drank its blood. The revolution of the slaves had begun. The message was very clear: cut off heads, burn houses and destroy plantations. In a few days, more than 1,000 whites were killed. The terrified white settlers started the legend that the blacks had made a pact with the devil that night in Bois Caiman. The Lacus, or voodoo monasteries, are spread all over the country. They are normally located in places where the slaves that had run away from the plantations hid to pray. Limonade Beach is a place of pilgrimage. Preachers from the most distant parts of the country come here to perform Guinée ceremonies and beseech the favor of Azuli, Mother Earth, the goddess of love, who is identified in syncretism with the Virgin Mary. In the shade of these sacred trees, families take turns to perform their ceremonies. They mainly offer food and rum and wait for Azuli to appear for her to take possession of someone's body, in this case, the woman with the red scarf. Azuli likes to flirt and seduces people without distinguishing between sexes. She may enter the body of a man or of a woman, but everybody will immediately recognize her because of her suggestive movements. Each preacher recognizes different beings in this procession. Its syncretic translation would be the Virgin of High Grace, the Black Virgin or the Virgin of Monte Carmelo, and sometimes Saint Philomena, identified in voodoo with the siren who comes out of the sea or out of fresh water. Other participants also go into deep trances. People help them and respect them, as in these movements their souls are outside their bodies. The luas or spirits have taken over their bodies in order to express their wishes. During these processions, there are frequent displays of the protection conferred on them by the influence of the deity that dwells inside them. Each lua has different colors, so different colored scarves are used to call them. White carlin powder is used to attract certain deities and to identify them. Azuli has just recognized one of her followers by the rings that adorn his hands. These are wedding rings that show that the man has married her. Each person may marry his protective lua. They gather their relations and witnesses together and go to the Onfo, or voodoo temple, where a mystic wedding is held. From this moment on, the earthly spouse will have to abstain from sexual intercourse on certain days specified by his lua. For example, Azuli prescribes Tuesdays and Thursdays, and on these days she may become before her servants in her dreams. Here in Limonade, voodoo lives alongside the church. The devotees alternate their religious customs without any problems. From the olden days, when the settlers prohibited their African religious services, the slaves were forced to praise their gods whilst kneeling before a Catholic icon. In this way, syncretism arose and the majority of the Lua have their corresponding Christian deity or saint.